Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a spoiler-free review for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is our second Doctor Strange movie, if you can believe it. And he's been around for so many other movies in between that. This movie is rated PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours and 6 minutes, directed by Sam Raimi, who needs no introduction, and written by Michael Waldron, who has previously written stuff like Loki, The Star Show, Heels, and Rick and Morty. As of recording, this movie has a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics and an 88% from the audience. And I think I would sit somewhere between those two scores overall. I think this movie to me is like around the 82%, something like that. Quick synopsis. Like I mentioned, this will be spoiler free. We'll have a full spoiler review later on in the day or the week maybe. So stay tuned for that. And of course, once everyone in the show watches the movie, we'll have a big multiverse of madness live show because there's a lot to discuss about this movie. Uh, so in Marvel Studios, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, in the MCU unlocks the multiverse and pushes its boundaries further than ever before. Journey into the unknown with Doctor Strange, who, with the help of mystical allies, both old and new, traverses the mind bending, dangerous alternate realities of the multiverse to confront a mysterious new adversary. This is all very, very much spoiler free. So the synopsis also wants to keep you kind of guessing at what's going on, but you've seen a little bit in trailers and the TV spots, so you know there's an idea of what the story is. Um, in this movie, Benedict Cumberbatch returns as Doctor Strange. We have Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff slash the Scarlet Witch, Xochitl Gomez as America Chavez, Benedict Wong as Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme, Rachel McAdams comes back as Dr. Christine Palmer. Chiwetel Ejiofor comes back as Mordo. Uh, so yeah, I'm really overall. I think both Sam Raimi and Michael Waldron have just managed to bring us a movie that really feels fresh, feels different, and feels original. Um, I will start with, I guess, my one gripe with the movie, if you want to call it that, and I think this is really not so much on the movie, but as the MCU as a whole. This movie has set itself up to actually have some stuff that there's required watching before this, which does feel up until this point, other than maybe Infinity War and Endgame, I feel like most of the MCU movies could be pretty standalone. Like and this movie does tell a complete story on its own. I just feel I would be curious to know how somebody that is not familiar with the MCU, or maybe somebody that hasn't watched some of the Disney Plus shows, how they go into this movie. But that's about it. I mean, overall, I really, really enjoyed this movie. It's a lot of fun. I had one concern going in that the MCU, or Disney or Marvel Studios, whatever, would try to sanitize the creative freedom of Sam Raimi. And that was definitely not the case. Sam Raimi's signature is all over this film. Like, it is like you if you've seen Sam Raimi films, you know what I'm talking about. There are these like camera shots and angles and stuff like that that are just signature Sam Raimi. And boy, let me tell you, this was definitely the same. Like it just felt like, it doesn't feel like you're watching Evil Dead or something like that, but it feels like Evil Dead's cousin or something. Uh, Very, very cool. I do want to say we have Danny Elfman to come back for the music, and you can definitely notice that as well. Like Raimi and Elfman are, I mean, they kind of opened the doors, kick wide open for the superhero genre in the past, and it's really cool to see them working together again. Um, I really like this whole idea of having horror directors make Doctor Strange movies. I think that just really works. I hope we get, if Raimi's not back for the next installment of Doctor Strange, whenever that happens, I would hope, that we do see another horror director step into the role. I think Scott Derrickson did a fantastic job with the first film, and his presence still felt. Derrickson's visual, they are still carried on throughout this movie. For there's bits and pieces of like, oh yeah, this is what we've set up. This is the foundation of Doctor Strange and who the character is. But then Sam Raimi took that and made it into his own and continued that story and that thread. Um, Anything involving the multiverse is really cool because it's all very visually distinct, all the different settings. This movie is actually not too long either. I think overall we've gotten, like, a lot of these blockbusters, they're usually like 2.5 hours at the least. This one clocks in at 2 hours and 6 minutes, including the credits and post credit scenes, which there's two of them, so make sure to stick around. Um, so yeah, I mean, it was great. The performances, I think Benedict Cumberbatch, I think he's a very great, he's great Doctor Strange. The breakout for me was Xochitl. She is just amazing in the role of America Chavez. Really cool character from the comics. I can't wait to see what comes next for that character. And I just really like the way they adapted her story into the multiverse of madness. I don't want to talk much more about some of the other performances because that would lead into spoilers, but Elizabeth Olsen as well, it's just great with the character of Wanda. Benedict Wong as well. Like, he's such a good compliment to Benedict Cumberbatch. They really feel like the relationship in the comics, although here the roles are a bit reversed because Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme. So that's really cool. And once again, good to have Rachel McAdams back and Chiwetel Ejiofor. I think they are cornerstones of what make a Doctor Strange movie a Doctor Strange movie. So once again, very enjoyable film, really cool. Like, the movie just looks great. I think Raimi does have some different kind of shots or techniques, if you want to call it that. Like, the his editor, like, they have this kind of shorthand that I think, if there's some of that stuff, could be off-putting to some people, because this movie is weird. I will say this: it is weird, and I can definitely see how some people would not enjoy this. Luckily, all that stuff is right up my alley because I like the weird shit. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I can see the complaints, and I'm sure people, online, whatever, all the discourse, it doesn't matter. As long as you enjoy the movie, which I did. I'll probably be going back to watch it. I'll be watching some videos on, like, neat Easter eggs, which there's a lot. There's so much to be left uncovered in this movie, which I'll talk more about in my spoiler review. But for now, that is all. Highly recommend you go check this out. Don't let anyone spoil you. Unfortunately, I went into the movie knowing at least one spoiler, but that did not deter me from having a good time. So yeah, there you have it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you thought of the movie, spoiler free, in the comments of this video. Once again, we will have a full spoiler video later on in the week. Also, we will have a big Multiverse of Madness show in the future. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned. The audio podcast will be on that as well. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. And stay tuned for our lives. We will be taking a break for Mother's Day, so go ahead and have a good holiday. And we'll come back pretty strong, probably talking about Moon Knight. So go ahead and catch up on Moon Knight season 1, because we're very excited to talk about that. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.